Hello everyone, my name is Gracie and welcome to a little new game glance at a game called Commander Quest. Now, this game had a demo and it came out a little bit before Next Fest, and then it had if you played the demo, you could request to be part of the playtest, which added a little bit more content. So I am currently in the playtest. I've been playing it quite a bit. Between this and the demo, I've probably played 20 hours of this game that isn't even out yet. It's in early access / early in development still. So they're still actively developing it, but it's a really, really great little game, and it's called Commander Quest, and it is it's a deck builder with real-time elements, as well as like lane-based combat between little units that you plop out with your cards. It's a really, really cool game. So I'm gonna, in this episode, I'm gonna try to get into gameplay pretty quickly, so that it's not like an episode 0 where I'm just talking about it. I am not going to go into any of this stuff right now. I'm just going to go straight into start. So as of right now, and I'm hoping that they add more in the future, we have humans and we have dwarves. Now, they have a lot in common, but they also have a lot of things that they don't have in common, which is really, really cool. So we're going to be playing the humans today, just real basic, just so you guys can get the gist of what's going on here. So what you do is you have a race, and then you have different characters. And these characters have different starting decks. And you can take a look at what their decks are to start. And then each character has a slightly different version. In my opinion, these decks should be a little bit more different between them. Like, they all start with 5 militia, 2 archer. And I wish there was some other starting units that came in here or something like that, but it's whatever. So let's just play as Richard. He's the most sort of basic experience that you're going to get. You also have commander skills, and you have starting relics, and so these define your play style. And the interesting thing is, because there's 2 races, 4 characters, 3 commander skills, 3 starting relics, and then when you start the game, you'll have a choice between a couple of different starting bonuses. Before you even get into to playing the game, you have made 5 decisions about your build. So I think that's really cool, is that going in, you're going to have a very different experience every single time, even if you play the same character, just because there's so many choices to be made. The skills, the relics, the starting deck, the race changes it. Like, these guys have miners that have a steel mechanic, whereas the humans just have these militia, and they have different sort of build paths and things like that. So it's really, really cool. So let's start as Richard. So we're going to have 120 health. You level up as you play the game and get experience in the characters and the factions, so that you unlock more cards that will be available, as well as more starting relic options and skills. So let's take just the, I don't want to take the starting relic. I think it's really good for new players, but once you get a hang of the game, I don't think you really want to play this much anymore. So I'm going to take this one, the 3 Lions flag. So increase the number of units summoned by 3 when summoning cavalry units. So if we take a look at our starting deck, we have a cavalry unit here. So instead of summoning 6 light cavalry, it would summon 9, I think. Let me make sure that's not already up. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. So if we take a look here, it doesn't show it yet, but this will, instead of being a ×6, it'll be ×9. So this unit will get a lot more cavalry. So every time we have cavalry available, we want to pick that up as part of our deck building. So what's going on with the rest of the deck? Let's just take a look at these cards really quickly, just so you can have some understanding of how the game is played. So this is the mana cost. You'll start with 3 mana per turn. This is the number of entities that summon. So when you summon amateur militia, you get 4 little dudes, and they are 2 attack and 4 health. They are melee infantry. They do not have any sort of powers. They have a gray name here because they're like basic cards or common, whereas this is blue because it's like, it's not quite rare, but it's like uncommon. And then you can get gold cards, which are like quite powerful, and then you can get these red cards that are unique and very powerful. And some of those, in my opinion, can just win you a run. They're so useful. So we start with all of these little militia guys. They also have these numbers here. This is how fast they move. So this guy moves at a 3. This guy moves at a 3. Their attack speed is 3, aka, I don't know if it's every 3 seconds, but this is a measure of how quickly they attack. So you do want to pay attention to that. For instance, the cavalry are 5 movement, 3 attack speed. These are 3 movement, 3 attack speed. And then this is their attack range. So the militia have to be as close as possible. They are strictly melee. The light cavalry have a 2. They have a little bit of range because they're using these spears. Also, these horses are really cute. And then the archers have a range of 5. So they're going to stop at a range away. So if you have melee units in the front and range units behind them, that lets the range units do tons and tons of damage, but they only have 1 health, so you have to be careful to protect them. We also have a couple of buff cards. So we have Solidifying Will. It costs 2 mana, so it's very expensive. You only want to use it if you already have a big blob of units out. Solidifying Will increase the attack damage of all ally units within a wide range by 2. Now, a wide range isn't really defined. You just sort of have to test it out. But the circle, you know, it's like a certain circle size on the map for your units. My head is in the middle of the is in the middle here, but I think I haven't blocked anything yet. No, I haven't. I'm not quite sure where to put my head yet because there's important information all over the place. So we'll look at that in a second. So again, back into the basic deck, we also have this Boots of Swiftness, increase move speed of ally units in a wide range by 2 stages. I find that this card is useless until you're about to win the fight, and this card is, in my opinion, rarely of any use at all. Maybe if you're trying to bum rush the enemy commander before they can summon any more units out or something, but I actually don't really like this card that much. This one can win the game, but I'm not sure about this one. If you hover a card and hold right click, it will show its upgrade. So like a lot of deck builders, cards can upgrade. So this one, you can see nothing at all changes except the count of units goes from 4 to 6. So you get 50% more units for the same cost, but they're not any stronger. Other cards will do other things. Sometimes they may go down in cost. So this one goes from 2 cost to 1 cost. And I think that makes this card a lot more viable because you only have 3 mana and casting 2 of it on this card is pretty harsh. This one here goes down to 0. That makes that much more valuable. The cavalry goes up 2 units. Which is useful, especially remember we're going to get +3, so that would mean this 2 mana would summon 11 light cavalry of 3/8, so they're quite strong. And then the archers just get +1 model, so I basically never upgrade these unless it's the only choice or something weird, because you just get 1 more archer. Now obviously that increases your DPS by a lot because it's another 4 damage unit, but it's not a great use of your upgrade in my opinion. So let's go back out of here. We've got our starting relic. We've got a starting power. So I'm going to leave it on this one. The Lion's Roar. Increase attack damage of all ally units in the battlefield by 3 and has a 4-turn cooldown. It costs 2. This is, again, sort of a game-winning power, but I think this is just, if you want to go for that kind of playstyle, I would just even think about even getting rid of this card, or at least upgrading it first, because this is 2 mana and it's just much worse. This other power is an axe that deals 5 damage to units in a small area. This is useful early game, but then late game falls off pretty hard because there are units that are shielded, so they don't take as much damage from range attacks, which this is one of. Units begin to have a lot more health than 5, and so this is 1 mana to just sort of do a little bit of damage to a bunch of them. Doesn't do that much, so that's my opinion, but it definitely helps you get through the early game. When the enemy summons a blob of range units, you just kill them. They don't get a turn. So I am on stage 1, so it's a little bit tougher, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll see how long I live. Sometimes I get all the way through on a deck I don't think is good. Sometimes I die when I feel really strong. It's a little bit all over the place, just like any deck builder. Sometimes bad things just happen. So let's depart. Let's talk about the map. So, incomplete combustion. So we always have a starting event. So this one is, so you didn't even get to see the castle, says the one who rekindled your spark. Make a choice. This time you must demonstrate either effort or skill. Seems they're disappointed in you because I died and we're restarting. So I can start with an extra 100 gold or obtain 2 random foods. Now, foods are items that go down into these slots, and they're usable at basically at any time in combat. And they're almost all strictly good. There's one that adds a card to your deck that is very circumstantial, and so that's a food I often discard and make room for other food. But most of the food is like, get a base card, set its cost to 0, heal your commander, get an extra mana this turn, stuff like that. The only downside is you can only hold 3, so if you have 3, you get another one, you have to discard 1 or use it, but it's pretty good about that. So let's take the 2 random food. Now this is a good one. This one gives you 2 mana, and then this is Fortune Cookie of Tactics. Obtain 1 random tactics card, reduces mana cost to 0 until it's used. So that'll be for the, I think that's just for the battle. Is it? I'm not sure. And again, I'll figure out where to put my face. We also have the timer. You can check your deck at any time. Just take a look what's in it. We have the map, but we're going to see that in a second. We have the encyclopedia if you want to see like the different cards. And then we have shortcut toggle, turn shortcut key display on or off. I'll just leave that on. And then we've got the settings menu. So rise from your slumber. So with prologue, there are currently 3 chapters in the game. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to change. Where am I going to put myself here? Let's go over to here for now. Just kind of migrating around while I figure out where to sit. So standard deck building style game, roguelite progression. There are meta upgrades, by the way, but we can go into that once I die. So this is us here. We can see the little, oh, it hovers them too. So these are all the different kinds of things you can come across. We've got battles. These are your stock standard nodes. You're going to be doing probably 75% of your time will be in battles. Unknown are events. Relics are just powerful items like this one. And these can be anywhere from amazing to like, you're like, when will this help me? Rest sites where you can upgrade or heal. Traveling shops. I have a bone to pick with the shop design, by the way, but we'll get into that. Danger battle is like an elite, and these are actually very hard. I have died on these multiple times. This is the boss at the end. Wacky Works Lab. We'll probably do one just to show off what it does, but these can be such a pain in the butt. I really want to go up here and get this letter because there's a special side quest that puts a curse in your deck. I think I'll go that way because I can do like a bunch of battles, an event, a hard battle, relic shop. So that's probably where I'll go. So let's get going here. Hey, look at that. I'm not even halfway through the episode. So let's click on this node here. We got a couple of things to explain about in this part here. A long spearman. Okay, so this is what's going on. So I have these little nodes on the battlefield here. You can see there's 3 here in a line and 3 here wide. There are lanes, and so when you summon a unit into a spot, it will show you where they're going. See, these guys are going to go this way and then down to the commander. Obviously, they'll stop along the way to interact with the terrain and fight other units and stuff. So this is a lane-based game, so there's turns. So on my turn, I will summon whatever I want in the nodes and then pass turn. And then during... it'll switch over to a real-time mode, and during that time, I can still play cards, but the best I can do is slow the game down dramatically. You can't pause in between turns, but it's not a big deal. You don't usually have to do that much when it's not your turn. So down here's our food. We can click on these at any time and consume them. I may even just... no, I'll probably save it. This is us here. We have 125 health. Now you can see we have no attack speed, movement speed, or range, and that's because commanders, see how he has 10 damage and 125 health at the bottom of his card? Commanders, what they do is when an enemy unit hits a commander, it takes that damage back from the commander. So essentially, and they'll almost always have 10 attack, almost always. So what happens is if I summon these militia, they're going to walk along the battlefield, get into some fights, maybe win, maybe die, who knows. If they get to the commander, they will smack the commander for the damage value that they have, and then they will take 10 damage. So this militia here will hit for 2 damage and then die and go back in the deck. Well, actually, it goes back in the deck once you cast it. So it's sort of how the game is played. So you can see most units die when they hit the commander. So it's really a game of attrition. It's not about getting a whole buttload of units that'll just beat the commander down. No, because they will die. It'll be hard to get a big blob of units, because if they don't die against enemy units on the way, they might just die when they hit the commander. There are ways to get your units up to more than 10 health so that they'll survive a hit, which can be very useful. It's not that uncommon, but some units just never will. Like, there's no amount of upgrades that will probably ever get my militia archer or my amateur militia to survive a commander hit. So that's not really what they're there for. So let's get going. This is, as usual, you can check your discard pile, you can check your draw pile. So we know, for instance, these are the cards left. So we will draw this hand next turn. Now we have 3 mana, so there's no reason to use this because we have no units out. This over here is showing us that the enemy commander intends to summon 6 4/4 rogues next turn. They also, in 3 turns, will summon another group of these spearmen. We have one out. You can see their little range. They have a 2 range, so you can see they have a little area around them with a little cone. That's because that's their range. These guys do double damage to units that move move speed of 4 or above, which is really annoying because we built cavalry. So you can see these guys have 8 health. So these guys would actually do exact lethal damage to these knights right off the bat, which is really, really annoying. So for that reason, I probably won't summon the cavalry down at this point, because these guys counter the cavalry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out a amateur militia, and I'm going to put out these 2 archers. And then when we're ready, we're going to end turn, and they're just going to go do their thing. We also have this node up here, a crystal vein. A lot of times there's like 1 or more paths that are sort of different than the main path, and those you'll get rewarded for either clearing it out so you have another avenue of attack, or you can get resources. Like in this case, we get a mana stone, which gives us 1 mana, just once, but it's still useful. And sometimes you can get like free supply cards or damage a building that the enemy has that heals their units and things like that. So let's hit end turn. So the archers fire. These guys kick the crap out of my militia, but the archers survive. Now, that was it. That was the whole turn. There's a little timer here. Goes down, takes about maybe 10 seconds for a turn or something like that. And then that's it. So once again, we have these units are now out, and so I could do something like buff them, or I could, like, say, grab this card and cast it. This is, again, strictly worse than this, apart from the fact this has a 4-turn cooldown. This can make them faster. So what we're looking at here is if I buffed them, let's say they would do 6 damage. If I increase their damage by, it's 3. So it'll be 7 damage. So that would be 7 times 6 would be 42 damage, which won't kill that guy. So should I Hail Mary and just buff the crap out of him? Probably not, because then I'll just be naked for these rogues that are coming in. So I'm probably going to want to send some units up top. Now these guys will kick the crap out of these guys, and they'll take 2 turns to kill these guys, 2 attacks, because they're weaker. But I also can't let them just go through for free and kill my hero. So I'm going to summon probably 2 up here, and then I might put, you know what, I'm going to put a 3rd one up there and hope I redraw the cavalry next turn. So these ones will shoot the commander and then take 10 damage back each time. Now we did beat the rogues. Now that's just because we had an overwhelming number of them. These guys will now go beat this crystal stone down, and then we will get a mana crystal. So I don't need any more units up here right now. So I'm going to summon 2 militia and 1 archer down here, because they'll be probably around here when the turn ends, and then these will summon, and then they can start attacking them. It's really cute. This game is super cute. Look at all these little guys just going about their day. Now here's a situation where I probably want to summon, say, one archer, and then I'm going to use the Lion's Roar to buff everyone on the battlefield, because I think I have a lethal amount of units here now that can get to him. And that buff stays. So if we hit end turn, archers got distracted by here, but look at this. They just run in and just beat the commander down, even though they die in the process. So easy peasy first battle. Remember to take your character's health seriously. I'm not saying prioritize defense, but do not forget about defending. If enemy units walk down a lane unimpeded and just hit your commander, you will die before the first boss. You don't let them do that. You have to try to fight them back. You'll learn as you go, but there are sort of counters and things like that. So we obtain a card as a battle reward as well as some gold. So we're going to grab this. This is another light cavalry. We get cavalry bonus. This is 3 units. So this is essentially 50% stronger just because we have this. This is a great unit as well, but we're going to go cavalry. So we're going to get these guys. Now, I'm sorry I didn't get to play with them in that case because it was a lot of spearmen enemies, but we will we'll get around. I'm sure we'll not have to fight spearmen every time. So let's go down here. So who are we fighting now? Another just regular guy. As they get more complicated further on, there will be new sort of things to watch out for. The enemy commanders may have special powers. So here's interesting. He started by summoning a buttload of militia. I don't have a way. If I had my knights, I would be in good shape, but I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a militia and an archer here. That's really all I can do. And then I'm going to put this guy in the back. I want him to take as long as possible to get over here so that I can hopefully summon cavalry next turn and they'll catch up, and then there'll be one big blob hitting things at the same time, if that makes sense. So these guys may all lose to this. I'm not sure. The militia certainly do a lot of damage. Yeah, the archers do a lot of damage. Okay. So we've got a big old blob of units here. So I really want to use the Lion's Roar here because I have a lot of things that are about to hit this commander. So I think what I'm going to do is Archer Roar. He's down to 4. See, now if I had the axe ability, I would be able to click that and just kill him. And there's other abilities like that in the game, direct damage. Now, it looks like we're going to win here. So all I have to do is summon cavalry. I'll just put this guy up here just in case. But these units, this guy will kill this commander. He does 7 damage. Easy peasy. That was like 3 turns. So a little bit of gold, obtain a card. So these are all common. Ritual. Now, Ghosts is a really fun strategy. We're probably not going to go into that unless I get something crazy. But Ghosts are really interesting. You'll have to check that for yourself if I don't do another playthrough. This is a gain a random food. And so this is Exhaust, which means you use it once per battle and then it leaves your deck for that fight. This is, once you upgrade it costs 0. I've found a lot of use in this because, like I said, the food is pretty much always good. So I'm going to grab this. I usually would skip only common cards, but I think the food one is fine. It can be fun to play with as well, just because you get different stuff. So let's go in here. Next fight. We got a Troblin. This is a half-breed of Goblin and Troll. I don't know why they tell you that in the information. So this one is interesting. We have just this one lane, but the Troblin here has a side path here that he can summon these archer hordes and then these enemy goblin hordes. Now these are 1/1s, and these are 1/1s with a tiny, tiny range. Their attack speed's really fast though. So that's interesting. So what we're probably going to do is cavalry in the back and then archer here. I'm going to save this food, I think. So hopefully we'll reach them and be able to fight them. Yeah, there we go. We want our cavalry beating up those archers. There we go. That was awesome. We lost only a couple of, maybe none. I'm not sure. We have more cav, so we could summon that. I think I'll do that instead of using the Lion's Roar and just another archer. And we're just going to overwhelm this guy. What was that, 2 turns? I'm too good for this. Obtain cards. So we have grant 30 additional health to its structure. We don't have any structures yet. Here's a mounted archer. It's cavalry. This is a no-brainer. This would be 7 models instead of 4 in this group. pretty long range, good speed, decent attack speed, decent health for, yeah. Okay, that's awesome. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen that card. I think I must have unlocked that one recently. How are we doing on time? We have time for 1 or 2 more battles, at least these events, and then we'll probably have to stop and do the hard battle on a second episode. So, yeah, I hope you're enjoying this so far. I hope this is a game that looks interesting to you. I think the demo is hopefully still available. The playtest, you know, I don't know if you'll get into it. My friend signed up for it, but didn't get it for like a week after I got it. Let's go to this battle node here. So this is an interesting one as well. They're going to start adding these friendly and or enemy structures. So this is friendly. You can see the little blue outline under it. This is a friendly structure. So these units will have to stop and bash through this 60 health thing, but then it's gone forever. In the meantime, we have enemy light cavalry up top. That would be a problem, except we have literally more cavalry for the same cost. So I'm just going to plop this cavalry back here. I want to make this take as long as possible, and then I'm going to put an archer here so that hopefully they get to here and can start firing on these guys while they're stuck on the barricade. They're not doing too much damage here. Now they're shielded so they don't take much damage from ranged, but they also do very little damage to the barricade. So we just got some combat going. I'll use this food thing. Let's see. We got gain 2 protection to ally units in a wide range. Now protection means the next time you take damage, you take 0. That can be an interesting way to go with cavalry, for instance, because what we can do is put this on them. Then they'll be able to hit once, take no damage, lose a protection. Hit another time, take no damage, lose a protection. Then hit a third time and die from the 10 damage. Unfortunately, these archers are going to fire on these cavalry, so I don't want to cast this protection on them at this time. We will have another light cavalry next turn. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's get 2 militia, and that was all of our mana because I got a food. I could spend this, but yeah, I might as well go ahead and use it. I'm going to be able to get new food every turn, or every battle. So I'll put the archer there, and then I'll go ahead and make all of them faster. So you can see now they move like as quickly as cavalry. Look how fast they are. Whee! Oh, this game is so cute. So they still have to get to these archers now. We've got these guys coming in. So let's put mounted archers, and then in the front we'll slap a militia to hopefully get there first and take the brunt of it. There we go. That's good. Yeah, so the archers had a chance to shoot. They didn't get all of these guys. Now they're... Oh, we killed him. We killed him. So we obtained some gold, a card. So this is tribal. This is another type of unit. So we've seen like humans. There's dwarves. We've seen ghosts, which is what this comes from. We also have this tribal chief now. Exhaust 1 random summon card in your hand. Grant +1/+2 to 1 summon card in your hand. That's interesting. Is this any good? What is this? What does this change to 1? Exhaust 1 summon card. Oh, it goes from... Oh, you get to choose. So that would be for the whole game, the whole battle. To 1 summon card in your hand. Gosh, I've never used this before. It doesn't seem very good, but we might try it. This is a phenomenal card, but I'm not going ghost this game, unfortunately. I'm tempted to grab it just to go ghost, like just try to pick up on ghost. There are ghost cavalry. You know what? Let's grab it. If we get the ghost cavalry, we'll be in really good shape. We have time for this event, and then we will probably stop. And then if you guys want to see more, come on back for an episode 2. I'll probably play out this whole run. Don't know how fast that'll be. You know, I might die here. I might beat the 3rd act boss. Fairy of the Lake. So here we have a 50% chance to restore health, 50% chance to lose health. But look, we're full health, so we just decline. There's no reason to do it. She's spooky. So we'll go ahead and do this event here. This is a letter left behind. So if we take this cursed letter, what it's going to do is put this curse card in our deck. But then there's an event. It's in, I think it's not gonna, it's never in the act you're in, but it'll spawn in, I think it's the next act. It could be the one after that, but then there'll be an event to head to with this little letter that you want to turn it in, and you can get some stuff out of there. All right, so we'll go and do this hard battle on the next episode. So if you want to see that, and if you want to stick around for some more gameplay as well as fighting this boss and sort of building up my deck and stuff, feel free to. If you just enjoyed this for a bit of a sneak peek into like what this game is as a bit of a tutorial, then I hope you enjoyed that as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Check out the link below for my Patreon if you want to support me and help me make these new game glances as well as all my Age of Wonders series and stuff like that. So thanks again for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys for episode 2.